What's going on, everyone? So the Brooklyn Nets were supposed to hire Ime Udoka after the Steve Nash firing, and it was met with real backlash. And that looks like it affected the decision to go and hire Ime as the head coach for the Brooklyn Nets. There was also reports that Adam Silver might have stepped in and just said, hey, like, this isn't a good idea. I mean, after condemning Kyrie Irving and all the controversy and all the stuff that went into him, the Nets calling him unfit, and just basically condemning Kyrie Irving and crucifying him in so many ways. I mean, it was just relentless and just over the top, in my opinion. They were still willing to go and hire Ime Udoka, who I repeatedly said on this channel, it makes no sense why they would do that, because their actions are showing the opposite of their words. They're saying that this is unfit and Kyrie is unfit because of a Twitter post, but the type of accusations that went into Ime Udoka, and I'm not talking about the consensual relationship. There were other reports that it was much deeper than that, and that, harassment and all kinds of stuff into that. So that's okay. But Kyrie posting something with no context, that is not. That is condemnable. That is not fit for the organization. And all the stuff that's going on with Joe Tsai, and just, like, literally people are dying over that situation because nobody will say anything or do anything because it's such a big market for the NBA. All of that's okay, but Kyrie Irving's not okay. That post was bad, so therefore he's bad. But Ime Udoka, he's fine. He's a great head coach, so we're going to bring him in as our head coach. I mean, the Boston Celtics essentially didn't just fire him. They suspended him for a year, but the whole thought is like, they're not going to bring him back. And they were willing to just give you Ime Udoka. They weren't going to try to fight it, nothing. They were just going to say, here you go. You could have him. Please take him. Whatever it takes. Usually you have to trade for a coach that's under contract. Great example, Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers, when the Celtics had Doc Rivers, they received a first-round pick to send him to the Clippers. Like, that was the whole thing, right? And the Ime Udoka, who just took a Celtics team to the NBA Finals in his first season, they were just like, please take him. Please get the headache off of our team. But the Nets were okay with it. And now it looks like, based on reports, because we do have a new head coach, they did promote Jacque Vaughn to the head coach, which they should have from the beginning, right? Problem is, it's not as sexy. It's not as big of a headline, as big of a name, which is what I've said time and time again. The Nets keep reiterating that they want to just get back to basketball, and they only care about basketball. It's bull. It's BS. They care about being in the headlines, being in the spotlight. They want the conversation to continue to be about them, because every single one of their actions have shown that to be the case. They had a chance to hit the reset button this season. They had a chance to get rid of Steve Nash, get rid of Kyrie Irving. I mean, the Lakers would have given you whatever you wanted for Kyrie Irving. Now you can't even trade Kyrie for a bag of chips. And you think he's going to do the 6 things that you want him to do after you told him he's unfit and just basically try to crucify him to the world? But Ime Udoka was okay, right? Well, now it looks like the reason that they promoted and they are going to keep Vaughn as the head coach is because of the public backlash. Now, we got a report that said the Nets changed course from their initial plan to hire Udoka due to several factors. Multiple sources with direct knowledge of the decision-making told The Athletic. These factors included an investigation and due diligence process by the Nets into the suspended coach taking longer than initially expected, and the outcry after the word of their plan became known to people outside and inside the organization, and the short and long-term question marks around the team's ability to contend in the Eastern Conference as a result of the indefinite suspension of Kyrie Irving. So again, this is something, there's no way they didn't know that there was going to be backlash and all that stuff. It says that they did an investigation. The Boston Celtics did an investigation for like 6 months and came to the conclusion that he is bad, that what he did was bad. I mean, even people like Matt Barnes, who came out to Ime's offense and were like, you don't know what you guys are talking about, all that. He later, like days later, came out and was like, look, I got all the details. I found out what happened. I'm sorry. I was wrong. This was worse than what I thought. This was really, really bad. Go watch Matt Barnes' interview. He did it in his car, like on his phone. He has like an entire interview where he's talking about how bad the Ime situation was and what he did was just uncalled for. He can't condone it and, all that stuff, and basically condemned Ime Udoka, right? But the Nets, what? They come on. They knew what they were doing. What they're trying to do is they're trying to keep Kevin Durant, but Kevin Durant's gone. They are not going to, look, Congrats to Jacque Vaughn. Let me start there, and then we'll jump into the Kevin Durant stuff, because he deserves credit, right? He's been 2-2 with this team in just dismal times, right? This is terrible. And the big thing is, like, what coach is going to want to come in and coach this team? Who? And who's out there? The only reason Ime Udoka made sense, and which is also another reason why I think the Nets were trying to get him, is because they were like, his situation is so bad, he will take any job right now, as opposed to like just not coaching. And I think that was part of it. Because if you're Quinn Snyder, you just got out of like the whole Utah situation, which is why they blew it up. You really want to get into the Brooklyn Nets situation where you have Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, Ben Simmons, and just this mess and a dysfunctional organization from the GM to the owner, all that stuff. You really want to come in? Like, I feel bad for Jacque Vaughn, because he's got to deal with all of this chaos, which he already has. He's got to step in and try to coach these guys. He's done a good job so far. Like I said, they're 2-2, but they're not going anywhere. It's time to blow it up. The Brooklyn Nets need to just see the writing on the wall and change course. You got a coach, you got a guy that can actually make an impact on this team if he has the right team. But you need to go get him the right team. Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant aren't the right team anymore. Neither is Ben Simmons, but I don't think you're going to be able to get rid of Ben Simmons. Like, you're at this point, buy out Kyrie Irving, move on. Find a deal for Kevin Durant, get your assets and stuff now, because the problem is, at this point, all you're doing is just ruining what potential value you could get. Right now, there are a lot of teams that would be more than happy to trade you the farm to go get Kevin Durant. But the deeper we get, the lesser those teams are going to want to give you, because the bigger, conundrum you're going to be in. So just get it over with. Buy out Kyrie Irving, come to an agreement, save yourself, $10 million plus, which is a benefit, right? Because nobody's going to trade for Kyrie Irving. So do that. Then go get a real package for Kevin Durant and start fresh. You got your head coach. He's still young enough to coach for the next, 10, 20 years if you want. You got your good head coach, because he's only 47, so you got a young head coach that can do a lot, that can really kind of build the culture, structure things, and just start fresh. You tried with the Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant situation. I don't blame them for doing that. And I don't think anybody does. There is not a team in this NBA that would have said no to getting Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant if they were in a position to get Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant. Every single team in the league would have done it. It just didn't work out. That's fine. Sometimes you make investments, sometimes you make decisions, and it doesn't work out. Cut your cord and move on. Be done. And yet they just keep trying to drag this on. And I don't see Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving working out. They've won one playoff series since they've came together. One. Every year it's something new. Every couple months it's something new. And even if you just have Kyrie Irving sitting at home, you're still responsible for him. It hasn't been on the court issues with Kyrie Irving. It's been off the court issues. And as long as he has your banner he is representing, what are you going to do? You're going to suspend him longer? He's gone after the end of this year. Like, why would you prolong it? Why would you wait? Just cut the cord and move on. Do your head coach a favor. You got a new head coach. Do him a favor. Quit prolonging this mess that you've already gotten yourself into. Kevin Durant it's just a matter of time before Kevin Durant asks for a trade again. The whole reason he wanted to be traded is because he thought this organization was dysfunctional and he couldn't win with them. And he was proven right. He was proven right. He gave them another chance and it all fell apart again. All fell apart again. It's an absolute mess. Cut your cord and move on. All you're doing is just making yourselves look worse and more. And all you're doing is just ruining your potential future for other stars. Like, if you're a star in this league and you want out, you don't think you're going to remember the Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving situation and go, man, I'm not going to Brooklyn. You're not only hurting yourself now, you're hurting yourself for the future too. Because Brooklyn is a place that people want to go. They've gotten several stars, whether it's through trade, whether it's through free agency. They've had opportunities, and all you're doing is ruining your future opportunities by dragging this out, because all you're doing is showing that, like, if I go to Brooklyn, they're going to handcuff me and they're going to condemn me if I do something wrong. And it's just a terrible look. If you're Brooklyn, move on. Trade Kevin Durant, buy out Kyrie Irving, move on, be done. Get a great package that now you can build around. You might even be better than you are right now. Like, especially if you go do like the Suns deal, or you go do like like if you could still do the Celtics deal, right? If you could go get Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart and some draft picks, go do that. You're probably a better team. Like, seriously. I don't understand why you wouldn't want to do something. Do something. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion, so I want to hear from you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comment section below. What do you think? Do you agree with me? Do you disagree with me? Do you think that, they messed up? How do you feel about Jacque Vaughn staying the head coach? Are you excited for that? Are you not? However you feel, good, bad, ugly, somewhere in between, let me know down in the comment section below.